Hey everybody, Gabe Suarez here. I wanted to expand a little deeper on the concept of strategy. I got a lot of emails and questions. I think what the problem is that the majority of the gun community is fixated on the actual uh, hands-on techniques of drawing the pistol, firing the shots, keeping the pistol reloaded, reducing malfunctions and split times and all that kind of stuff. And that is actually such a minor thing in the big context of things, that the more I'm studying this mental aspects of things, the more I'm questioning if we're training the wrong way. Um, One of our staff instructors, Brian Kowalski, very renowned guy, skilled, good background and everything else. He showed me a study that was done a while back, that um, it sort of confirmed some of my suspicions about what is really necessary as far as skills in a gunfight. I've always sort of held that your mindset, your mental attitude, your ability to process information, your ability to look for the right cues were far more important than your shooting skill. And case in point, I remember in my time in law enforcement, there were a number of different officers that they actually shot in competition, were very, very skilled in shooting, and yet the moment that they got in a gunfight, everything went to pieces. And so the notion that your training goes out the window, I believe, comes from that. Because if you put a very skilled shooter in an untenable situation, tactically and strategically speaking, they're going to be on overload because the problem is not a shooting problem. The problem is a thinking problem. And if you don't have the ability to process information and arrive at the proper decision, you will either extremely underreact or you will extremely overreact. And we see that time and again now in the police and and CCW worlds of people that ostensibly are skilled and trained and everything else, repeatedly making the wrong decisions and putting themselves in untenable situations. So I want to get into this strategy and strategic thinking in greater depth, and I think it's a new area that we need to spend more of our time in, so that again we develop people that win their gunfights, not merely survive them. So I was looking at the traditional definition of strategy. Now you remember that I defined tactics earlier as the art of maneuvering against an opponent and toward a strategic objective. Now, I define that in the context of personal combat, but if we remove the concept of personal combat, it's the art of maneuvering toward a specific objective. Now, that objective is defined by your strategy. Strategy is defined as a plan of action or policy designed to achieve a major or overall aim. A plan of action or policy designed to achieve a major or overall aim. In the context of personal combat, the art of planning and directing overall tactical operations and movements in a conflict. Tactical operations and movements. So strategy are what directs tactics. That's perfect. So again, what is your major or overall aim? Now, again, we could define a very, very global and huge strategy for life. You can define a global strategy for your career, for your family, for your relationship, for a vacation that you're going to take. We are going to go on vacation to Malta. Okay, that is the strategy. And so now, how do we achieve that? Well, let's gather information on Malta. Let's figure out how much flights cost. Let's figure out the best routes and the best airlines to take. Let's figure out where to stay. Let's learn as much about getting to there and getting back as we can, so that once we have decided to launch, we can facilitate our mission by using these different tactics. Now, strategy is not something that you're going to go to a shooting match and exercise. Strategy is not something that can be, in essence, tested. In the sense of how fast can you draw, how accurately can you shoot, how much weight can you lift. Small minds get fixated on these little points of minutia. It doesn't matter how fast you can shoot. If you can shoot adequately fast and you have great tactics, you will win your gunfight. If you have an adequate level of skill in the art of delivering, and you have a great strategy and you have great tactics, you'll be fine. So the comparison here would be back to the issue of the vacation technique. Just practice buying airline tickets online until you get really good and your split time between flights is really minimal. You put in that context, the whole idea is kind of silly, isn't it? Most important thing, as I said earlier, strategy, next comes tactics, next come techniques, and finally the equipment that will help you fulfill all of that. But equipment is the least important of all of them. Techniques next in least importance. Strategy and tactics are the most important thing. Now, as there is a way to train strategic thinking. There are exercises that we can do. There's methods to help you process information quickly. There are methods to help you pick out the important nuggets of information that are coming your way. There are methods to show you what to look for. There are methods to help you eliminate unimportant material. And so in the future, I am going to work hard to develop a course of instruction to help you to do just that, to think strategically, to minimize the noise that is coming in. In other words, how to flow through the OODA loop the fastest way possible, so you arrive at the proper decision that is congruent with your strategy and that is workable with your tactics. So anyway, that's my plan. I've already got the framework for it, so stay tuned for an announcement. And we'll talk again soon. Ciao.